Try something new today. So I have 3 decks of cards here. One of them you've probably seen from me before. 2 of them I've never opened. So we have the dragons, who I can't even remember if I've talked about this on here or not, but what I've been told is like, stay dangerous. Okay, and how do you do that? I literally, the first time I asked my mom, or I said to her, stay dangerous, she was like, I have no idea what that means. And then she told me she's going to trivia night, and I asked if I could come because I'm literally a psychic. Why would you not invite me to trivia night with you? And she was going with her coworkers, and I think maybe she thinks that I wouldn't like them or something. I don't know. Anyways, so I didn't get to go to trivia night, but then afterwards she told me I would have been great at it. But anyways, I told her, when she told me she was going, I asked her if she was going to practice. And then I said, how will you stay dangerous at trivia night? And then she said, just by being present. And there was something in that. My mom is constantly delivering me psychic messages. She's a Scorpio Mars too, so we're connected in that way through our anger. I'm a Scorpio moon in the 4th house, the mother wound, and today is my grandma's birthday actually. So I have a grandmother Teresa and a great grandmother Teresa. So that's very Christ-like of me. But actually, Jesus had a Mother Mary, but Mother Teresa is somewhere in the church doing something. For a Catholic, I really don't know the ins and outs of it like that, but I am the most spiritual person I know. So that says something. Anyways, as you can tell, my brain is all over the place right now. But so stay dangerous, essentially. And then also I have the Strange World Tarot. Whoop. This is an old Earth. Things are getting weird. And the Light Seers Tarot, a new Earth where, you know, there is possibility, there is sunshine, there are things can be good. Actually, I was talking about this on Tumblr yesterday. I was just sitting in my car in my driveway, and my aunt and uncle, they live like down the street from me, and so they have 2 kids. They have a son who's like 6 months younger than me, and then they have a daughter who's like 6 years younger than me, and I was her mom in a past life for sure, but I got her a job, like she writes for me or whatever right now, and she's doing a really good job, so we're like besties, whatever. And she like goes to school like an hour and a half away, but when she comes home for the summer, last summer we had a Phineas and Ferb ass summer. It was really cute actually. So I'm excited for her to come home if I don't run off and get married, which is what my psychic senses are telling me is what's gonna happen, so we'll see. Anyways, so oh, my aunt and uncle, going back to them, so they were walking their cute little dog Charlie, and I was just coming out of my car because I was like sitting in my driveway like cleaning it out, whatever, and I don't know, we were just like talking, whatever, and then my aunt said that she was like nervous about the state of the world or something, and literally, so like I'm on one side of the street, they're on the other, and I'm literally yelling, I'm like, you have to be the change you wish to see in the world. Like, faith over fear. And my aunt was like, no. Like, I wanted to run across the street and like choke slam her, but then also like in retrospect I was like, the Christ-like thing would have been to go over there and give her a hug. Like, truly, I think she needs it. But I'm like, why are you terrified? Like, people are so scared. Like, we live in Canada. Like, I don't know, what's the worst that's gonna happen? I don't know. Like, I was watching a video about the dinosaurs on YouTube this morning. Like, sometimes when I'm in the bathroom brushing my teeth, I just like some like morning entertainment that's not too like negative. But this was the worst thing that's ever happened to planet Earth. Actually, I watched a video about the big asteroid that struck and like how scared the dinosaurs were and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, like this is so sad. But like, that's, you know, like, that's a real like physical thing. Like, the dinosaurs couldn't escape that. Like, there was no saving them. But like us, like, we can still be saved. Like, yeah, like things are chaotic, but like that's for a reason. Like, the old Earth, the first card that we have here is death. So kind of what we did is I shuffled all these decks and I stacked them like old Earth, message from the dragons, and then like how it's gonna come out in a new Earth when we embody this advice from our dragon friends. So the old Earth is dying, okay? And the problem is people are trying to escape from this because in the new Earth, like when I pulled this deck out of the thing, the Fool was at the bottom. So I figured that was a really good place to start, actually, because when you're in this place, when, you know, something is dying and something new is being reborn, you honestly, I'm a qualified source to give you advice on this topic because I am a Scorpio moon, Scorpio Mars. I have Pisces, Venus, and Jupiter in the 8th house, and I'm a Scorpio Lilith. So I am very good. I have shed bodies in this life. I have lived lifetimes in this life, and I have lived other lifetimes outside of this life. So I know what I'm talking about here. And also, I trust what God tells me, and that's all I'm really telling you. Anyways, so here we are. We're being reborn into a new Earth. So that's scary for some people, right? Like my aunt, like she's not out here like abusing substances or whatever, but like fear is a substance. You know, it's like, it is something that you can abuse. You can get addicted to fear. You can be addicted to it. I think I talked about it in another video, like during the COVID pandemic, like my mom would just sit there and like read out the statistics of like, oh my god, like this many people died today, and I literally had to be like, can we not do this? Like, I'm so sorry. I don't know, like, even like I'm in the news, like that, my job is the news, you know what I mean? And I'm always just trying to like think of ways to frame things like, okay, how can we empower people with this information? Like, I was writing about the astronauts that were stuck in space, and you know, like I'm on like the SEO team or whatever, so like all of our articles are like based on like optimizing them for like search engine, you know what I mean? So like you kind of want to look at like what people are searching and like structure your article around that. But one thing that I was just naturally curious about, like this is what makes me a good journalist, I write about what makes me naturally curious in whatever topics I'm assigned. It's not just like I'm like I can only write things I'm interested in. It's like, okay, how do I make the most boring thing in the world interesting? Anyways, so these astronauts were stuck in space for about 286 days. So, you know, I was curious about like, why did this happen, blah, 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 whatever. But I was like, what did they do while they were there? You know, that's a long time, but like these are like seasoned astronauts, and they actually were quite productive with their time there. So like they obviously mentored other astronauts, and Suni Williams, her name is, she did like, her and Butch, they did like 5 hours of a spacewalk. So that's like when they're like outside of the ship, like doing repairs or whatever, like this is really cool to me. I'm like, oh my god, like they were in outer space doing this shit. But anyways, when Suni was doing this, she became the woman with the most space hours like ever in the history. So good for her, you know what I mean? Like, so she didn't just take that time, and also on one of her different stints in space, she ran the Boston Marathon on a treadmill. So that's pretty badass. I like her. Good for Suni Williams. So I mean, you can do stuff like that, right? Like when you're watching everything around you crumble, you can do things, you can choose to be empowered. You can do your version of running a marathon in space, or like setting some sort of record, just literally whatever that is for you. Or you can run and escape and be in fear. And I didn't even tell you the message from the dragon on how we can stay dangerous. Okay, so we got the source dragon, and I really fuck with him, actually. He's cool and he's cute, and I like him. So he attunes you to the infinite. And so you have to be still in the silence and know that magic can happen in the silence. And I'm this is literally playing out in my life right now, okay? It's just like magic, and only because my body, mind, and spirit are aligned. If I fall out, if I go into fear, if I go into doubt, then it's just like the possibility of it happening completely vanishes. But like sometimes, like, all you can hold on to is possibility. Even like if you don't see it in front of you, you have to create it. You have to create it because you have that energy, right? So it's just like you can be negative or you can be positive, but you have to be in the moment, even if it hurts. But like escapism is not the way. So maybe sobriety is the future. Okay, let's get an old earth card. What is this? This is the 10 of Wands. So I think that's kind of like carrying burdens that aren't yours. You know, it's just like you're like, oh my god, this is all so heavy, like, oh, like I'm suffering all the time. And then like someone like me comes to you and is just like, oh, like why don't you put that down? Like, why don't you focus on what you can control instead of carrying like, you're trying to help someone push their rock up their hill. But your only job is to push your rock up your hill. That's all you have to do, right? So here is the next dragon. This is the one that my mom got, actually. So orange is very important. I'm wearing an orange hat. I need to shave my armpits. Don't judge me. Anyways, so this brings soul families and communities together. So when we realize, like, okay, I can't carry your burden for you, but I can support you through it. You know, it's like we can mutually support each other while we're pushing our rocks up our hills. And how do you do that? You fucking shout words of encouragement at each other. You remain positive. Like there's so few people that are holding on to positivity in this world. Even like I was on the phone with my grandma because it's her birthday, and she was just saying to me, like, you know, even she goes on Facebook and she's like, there's, you know, Haley, there's so much like hatred and negativity in the world. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, everyone just needs to go outside. Get off the fucking internet, please, I beg of you. I deleted Instagram like 6 or 7 months ago. So obviously part of my job is like checking social media and seeing what's trending, but like I'm really only on social media, like scrolling like that, other than Tumblr, like during like when I'm working, you know, like as part of my research. But other than that, yeah, no, like I don't, and I think so much more clearly, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's funny little videos and stuff on social media, but it's like, You can find laughter and joy in the moment. Like, that's what we're all craving. That is part of why people abuse substances, because they're just trying to get that like childlike feeling of like joy and whimsy and wonder back. And they think the only reason, or the only way they can do it is through getting drunk. But you can tap into that part of you exists without substances. I've had to like uncover that for myself, but that is a big part of my sobriety journey, and I'll talk about that in another video like next week. The Six of Pentacles is generosity of spirit. Okay, I have been teaching people this lesson in my life. So people are too fearful to be generous. You remember in my my Suspicious Minds video, I talked about this, like how, you know, people are too fearful to accept because they're carrying all these like heavy burdens that they don't need to. But it's like, okay, if you put those burdens down, then you have more, you have to make room in your life to receive. Okay, let's take a break to drink some water because I'm talking a lot. I'm glad that I am excited and I have such good energy, because I know the world needs that right now. And I just like, sometimes I feel called to keep it to myself a little bit, because I gave so much of myself for so long. And I'm like, okay, now actually I feel really empowered, because I think like for a while, like I thought the only way that, and not even that like I care about having a lot of followers or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I thought that the only way that I could connect with people, or like, you know, like have like a platform for myself, was like through like selling myself out. And now it's just like, no, like I'm just myself, you know. I post my thoughts, and like I do what I want to do, and like I share my life, and I'm like, okay, whoever wants to be here is here, and whoever doesn't isn't, and like this is how it is, and this is how it's going, and we keep it really real, and the world needs more of that. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I think this is the 9 of Wands. So yeah, this is like also another one of those ones. Well, I mean, we just had the 10 of Wands, so this is kind of like we're stepping backwards. I feel like as we lean further into fear, it's like we're regressing. But like as more people learn into, like what I told my grandma, I was like, you know, like what I even told my writers is like, if someone is feeling like fearful, or they have like a negative feeling, instead of turning to anger, like the best thing you can do is get curious about it and like try to understand another person's perspective, you know what I mean? But like the 9 of Wands is just like people kind of like regressing even more like back into themselves. Or we could also maybe read that as like there's kind of like a little bit of an opening here, so maybe people are opening up. And there's blue on this card, and I did blue nails, so like throat chakra. So I think maybe like if people are more open to communication, right, like you need to be able to sit and listen to someone. And listening means not with the intent of responding, but like to understand really what they're saying. And like this is something that like I've had to learn, because I'm the kind of person that like, you know, as someone's talking, I want to butt in so bad and say so many things, and I'm freaking terrible for that. So I'm always like, I'm trying to just really sit and listen. And then like when I give presentations and stuff, like I always like, you know, every like few minutes I stop and like, does anyone have any questions? You know, like do we need to like go over anything, whatever. Like I try to like make it as clear and concise. And I understand that like not everyone is thinking about things the same way as me, and I've had to practice a lot of patience. And I'm really grateful for my career, because it's taught me a lot about being a mother. Like I'm gonna be the best mom one day. I'm gonna have so much patience. I'm gonna be able to give my children everything that my parents couldn't give me. They gave me everything materially, but like emotionally, I've raised them. I have raised them in every way. The Omega Dragon, more blue. What does he have to say? Harness the divine feminine power of creation. Women rule in a new earth, okay? And it's just, even like men, you have important roles too, but it's just gonna be through bringing forth your feminine energy. And also it's like the masculine is to serve and protect. Okay, that is your job, to serve and protect. You find the person you love and you serve and protect them. I'm gonna keep saying that over and over and over, because the man I love, like, okay, I've had bad experiences with cops, but I've also had good experiences with cops. But generally speaking, I don't really like the police. I think there's better solutions for the state of the world than all of that. But anyways, the man I love, one day he told me, he's like, yeah, like I wanted to be a cop. And I was like, ew, like what? But then I thought about it. I was like, I want you to serve and protect me. Like, I think I've told him that before, and if I haven't, I can't wait to say that, because I'm like, yeah, like that is my vision for the future. Like me, like creating and like being fully in my power, you know, like being in my, like, he makes me want to be a woman. You know, I am his missing rib. There's no other way to describe it. Like, we have this insane psychic connection. It's bonkers, but this says intention, hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. So that is what we are doing. We're birthing a new earth, right? And we're going to do that through communicating, through understanding, and not through running. We have to be open to the things that we are afraid of. So the Hierophant, so you have to like be still and know. So as you're watching all the chaos around you, like I was talking about in my last video, like tips for trusting the purpose, I was saying like, are people gonna sit there and like scapegoat the government for 4 years? Like, are you gonna like, you know, like get angry about all of these things that are out of your control? Or are you gonna be like this guy and just sit there and like let yourself like bloom? You know, so stay dangerous. So stay aware of what's happening and know what's within your control, but then also know that like so much of it is also out of your control, and all you can do is just be in the moment, be here now, serve the people around you. How can you serve them? Sometimes serving them is literally just through like cracking a joke, like being the comedic relief in a tense situation, giving someone a compliment if they're having a bad day. Like that is serving people, because you are in the present moment, you are connecting. Humans need more of that. We are like isolation chambers, and so many people, it's like the ego has gotten so big. I was just shown this like as like a vision. It's like because like people like social media now, it's like anyone can create this like false image of self, which is like a projection of the ego, right? Like that's who you create yourself to be on social media. And then it's like people can like log onto their phones and like hype you up and whatever. Like, is that really genuine connection? Like, people aren't getting together anymore. People are so isolated. Like, I mean, obviously like we've come back together like since the pandemic happened and stuff, but just like people's frames of minds have shifted. So it's like more connection. I'm in a third house perfection year, so I'm all about connection. This is the Seven of Swords. I'm so bad at Roman numerals, but I feel like that's a 7. So I think the Seven of Swords is kind of like, let's Google it actually. I want to say it's like the end of conflict. Oh, that was a YouTube video. 7. See, even I'm not afraid to ask the internet questions when I don't know things. I've been learning to work with ChatGPT as an ally and not an enemy. So this says betrayal, deception, getting away with something, acting strategically. So maybe that's kind of what I was saying. Like, people are like crafting this like false image of self on social media and like trying to paint this picture to the world of like, oh my god, I'm fine. But like, maybe like, you know, you really need to ask yourself sometimes, like, are the people I'm taking advice from like walking the talk, or like are they just out here like building these like multi-million-dollar empires and like I'm feeding into that, but it's like they aren't actually like leading me towards like a lifestyle that is aligned with like me serving my purpose, because that's all I'm trying to do when I create content, and that's what the people that I watch are trying to do. Like, I'm very, very, very picky about what I let into my beautiful mind. Like, that it is a garden, and if you are not planting, I'm so sorry, I just burped. What did I even have? Oh, I had a drink from Starbucks. Anyways, tasted like strawberry. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm so dead. Okay, orange gold dragons, more orange and blue. So this is like the sacral chakra. So that's like your passion, that is your life force energy, and like communication, right? So people are like, there's just, oh my god. When I go too long without making a video, I have so many topics I want to dive into, but like there's been this distorted feminine energy for a really long time, and I used to feed into it, right? And it's just like women are like, we're like in this distorted like hypersexual energy because we I need to think about this thought more. Okay, we'll come back to this one, but yeah, and it's shifting. And like, even if you look into like Playboy bunnies and stuff, like as it was kind of exposed like what those women had to endure, a lot of them went through like a similar shift that I've seen in myself, where it's just like they feel a bit more like empowered through modesty, you know what I mean? Like, I was looking at like photos of myself that like I posted like over the past few weeks as opposed to what I was posting even like a few months ago, and I was like, wow, like, you know, like my perception of myself has really changed. Like, it's like I still feel like I'm like a valuable person, like worth posting on the internet, even if I'm like not showing off my body and like doing the things I used to do. Like, I'm like, you know what, this is still me, and like I'm still important. But yeah, so it's kind of like seeing people for who they are and not just their sexual energy, like seeing them for their power, but not sexualizing that, if that makes sense. So opens you to knowledge for the new golden age. We are in the golden age. I'm a Leo rising, so I'm helping to lead this. Carry the energy of the future. Be a guiding light. You see how empowering this is? Oh my gosh, I really like this. The Five of Pentacles. So in a new earth, if you are not letting your light shine, like, this is where you are. You're choosing to be a victim. But like, the whole purpose of like your being here is like to be bright and to be radiant, and like for you to feel good as much of the time as possible, or if not good, then just like at peace, you know what I mean? But I feel like at peace is like you're comfortable in your body, like you're not having negative thoughts, like you're just like, okay, I'm in the moment, and like you're not trying to prepare in advance for like people to attack you, because that can be why some people like pump themselves up on social media and whatever, because they're just like, oh, I have like these walls of like protection around me, but it's all a facade. Like, how much of that is really real? How real are you being with yourself? Okay, let's get another one. This is the Six of Swords. So this is like kind of, you know, like the Seven of Swords. It was like, you know, like that more of like an ego-based thing. This is, I always see this as like the refugee card, you know? So it's kind of like, all right, after you've put the swords down, like maybe those people that still want to like be in conflict, it's like, you're like, okay, I can't connect with those people anymore. So now I'm like, I'm looking for my new home. So like, this is us, like, this is you moving out of an old earth and into a new earth. So you just have to show up every day, you know? It's like, you know, the more you come hang out with the people that are in a new earth, we'll welcome you. We're here. You just need to like find people who are on your vibration. More orange and blue. Is this whole deck just orange and blue, I wonder? Maybe not. White gold dragon from Lyra connects you to the highest Christ light. Develop your casual chakra. Bathe in ninth dimensional. Girl, I thought I was just in the 5D. I do kind of feel that though. I'm like, whoa, like if we can get to like 5D, like what else is possible for us? So this is just kind of showing that like you need to be thinking bigger, bitch. Like, just take a higher perspective. If you are in fear, if you are in lack, if you are in doubt, choose love. Like, what is possible instead of focusing on what isn't possible. Like, focus, ground yourself, and just like do the work. Like, find a routine that works for you. This is something I want to start talking to my writers more about, because I think some of them, and I mean even I'm guilty of this, they're just kind of like willy-nilly all over the place. But I kind of want to be like, okay, let's have a bit more structure and like figure out what works for us. Like, okay, if we're gonna do this, like what can you be responsible for to make you kind of feel more empowered to like figure out what works for you? No, because I don't want to control people, basically. Like, I've been in positions before where it feels like I'm just like controlling people and telling them what to do, and like if they're not doing it, then it feels like my ass is on the line. But like, my job right now is a lot more lax, but it's still just like, okay, like we're doing something, and it's like when you're putting out trending news, like you need to do it in a timely manner. So it is kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, can we, like, we're all in different time zones too. Like, I think like two people are in Eastern time, someone's in the UK, and like I'm on Mountain time. So, you know, like trying to align, and then outside of that, you know, I have other people, but it's just, yeah, trying to like manage people, it's very hard. But if I can just kind of imprint the basic philosophy in everyone's head of like respectful communication and like, you know, setting up a routine for yourself, and like as your boss, like I need to know like, okay, what can I expect from you? And like, if there are roadblocks getting in your way, you come to me and I help you find solutions. Like, being a really good manager, I'm learning, is more so about like connecting with people and understanding their struggles and like helping them see things from a different way, and like making them feel more empowered so that like they can like keep doing the work for you, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's not always like a problem with the person. Like, sometimes there's like things that can be done on like a company end and whatever too, you know? So it's just like a matter of like everyone being a little bit more receptive. This is the Page of Wands. So you see, he looks a little bit like angry and kind of like scared, but you have to be like in your childlike energy. Like, that's a Chris Angel quote, I think. Actually, he says something about that, like, you know, when you think like a child, like anything is possible. Like, okay, so tap into your inner child. And when you watch kids on a playground, even like when I think back to when I was a kid, like some kids were really mean, and like going on the playground, like that could be really intimidating. So maybe that's how you're coming into a new earth as you're coming out of an old earth, and you're like in that really hostile energy of like, oh my god, like I don't know if I feel worthy of being here, I don't really understand what's happening, like how do I do anything, like what do you mean my vibration, like what do you mean I'm just energy? But like, you are more energy than you are human. And one thing I wrote on Tumblr that came to me yesterday, I think it was like, don't get so caught up in your humanness that you forget you are divine. Because in a new earth, like, that's the difference. It's like we're just like, we're divine beings. Like, we're anointed with our Christ consciousness. Like, this is why I said I wanted to do an Angels Among Us video about Meghan Markle, and then I started rewatching The Crown, and then I had all these like downloads come to me about how, like, you know, like, the average person is no different from like a queen, because like the queen is like anointed with holy oil, like, and that, you know, gives her like divine power. But like, if you're tapped in, like, I mean, I happen to be psychic, but like, even if you're not psychic, whatever, like, you are still anointed with like your purpose. You have to figure out what your individual purpose is, and you have to live that out, and it's your duty to inspire others through doing that. But that is like how the royal family, although they're controversial, they are angels among us, because that is their role. Any royal family, it's their role to inspire average people. So when I say average, that means anyone, to me, who's like, anyone who's not conscious is average. Like, you're not living up to your full potential. You're being average, right? So if you tap into your consciousness and you suddenly just realize, oh, it's me versus me, like, I just need to take control of like what I have control of, which is like what I'm doing every day, how I feel. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Do you check social media and then like feel like shit because you're not reaping enough seeds? Or are you waking up and are you sowing seeds so that when you wake up a week from now, you have even more things to reap? You know, like, you need to be thinking bigger, bitch. So this is the Golden Atlantean Dragon. He helps you remember the wisdom of Golden Atlantis. Awaken, bring back your knowledge, gifts, and talents, reclaim your mastery. So that is basically what I was just saying. Like, if you take, say, like 30 minutes in the morning instead of like waking up and like doom scrolling on social media, what if you spent those 30 minutes like reading about something that interests you, or like doing something positive for your body, or just like, you know, putting in that time towards, like, time is money. Okay, so what are you putting your effort towards, and like how is that coming back to you? Because if you invest your energy and your time wisely, it will come back to you. The world, you see, then anything is possible. You see that rainbow there? Hell yeah. So keep on keeping on, people. And okay, we'll get one more card from each of these because we're nearing 30 minutes here. Who is this? The Knight of Swords. So he brings the truth. So if you go out on the playground, people are going to have their truths and you're going to have your truth, and you have to be willing to meet in the middle, and you have to understand that like there is really no absolute truth, because like man's ego is always going to be like, oh, maybe my truth is a little bit different, but like we can agree to disagree. Nothing is ever really that serious, you know? And if you want to make it that serious, then like ask yourself why that is. Why is it so deep to you? This one is all blue. Dark blue galactic dragon helps you listen to the voice of the universe. And the more you like develop tolerance for others and can understand others, the more you'll be willing, like, that shows the universe you're receptive, and the universe will trust you with messages. So ignite the codes of your master blueprint, access cosmic wisdom, and enter higher service. So maybe your service in a situation, you know, I was talking about earlier, like to serve people, is just to listen to someone. Maybe someone doesn't have anyone in their life that really listens to them. Maybe you don't have anyone in your life that listens to you, but if you sit there and listen to someone, then that's what they need. And then maybe they'll listen to you too. But we all just need to listen a little bit more. And again, I'm working on this. Temperance, patience, hell yeah. So just really, like, when someone is speaking to you, I've had to teach my parents this. You know, like, sometimes my mom won't even look up for me when I'm talking. And, like, my dad, like, it's mostly just, like, when I get emotional, he'll have a hard time, but he's gotten a lot better. Like, now he'll actually be able to, like, stand there, and while I'm saying something, he'll, like, let me say a whole sentence before he cuts me off. You know what I mean? And, like, he's listening, like, to understand and not listening to respond. And that, I think, makes all the difference. Okay, I feel like we're gonna get one more round of cards, just because. Okay, another page. The Page of Swords. So again, maybe I think earlier on there was like a regression thing I was talking about. So the page would be a regression from like the Knight of Swords. So maybe like initially when you come into a new earth, it's really scary. So then you want to run backwards or whatever. But then maybe like as you're running backwards into like an old earth, it's sometimes people have to learn lessons the hard way. But then maybe you'll realize like, okay, this isn't for me. But then it's like the second time you come back to the playground, like you're bringing your sword. I think last time you had a wand. Wands are kind of more passionate and angry. So like your sword is like, okay, I have my truth. And you're like, okay, I went back to the old world. It's not for me. Now I'm here. This is what I have to say. Who's willing to listen? And the people in A New Earth, we have our heart chakras open. You see that green? We're here. We'll listen to you. So the alpha dragon, harness the divine masculine power of creation. This is why I was called to get another one, because we had the divine feminine before. This is the divine masculine. So this says, destroy the old, visualize your new dream, or visualize your dream, help to manifest a new world. So once you go back there and you see what isn't for you, then you come forward and you're like, okay, this is I see it now. This is a new earth, and that's justice. So you'll get your justice in a new earth, but you have to be there to receive it. The universe can't give it to you if you're still in an old earth, but it's waiting for you in a new earth. You just have to level up. Okay, love you guys. I hope this helps.